as you know, on Sansar Barima, Yuddha Dunda, अनि ले धेरै दुःख पाएको छ धेरै our brothers and sisters देशमा पनि अनि विश्वभरिमा अनि यति stress, यति anxiety, यति fear. There's so much suffering out there. I feel it is very important for us to feel their pain and suffering. I'm trying to see how we can promote world peace through inner peace. Well, as long as human beings are able to recognize how precious human life is, there's not only possibility there, but there is real interest to live life meaningfully, which is only through finding peace. About a year or so ago, I gave a talk in Stanford University, and they are asking me to talk about AI. So I said, of course, happy to do. And all the scientists, all the AI developers, they came. And then I decided my topic will be AI and AI.
Nowadays, lots of practitioners and beginners, and even I have noticed that the Dharma centers nowadays has been like an elite show, I would say like a VIP culture,
You're right. There's this big
Naked Mindfulness with Rishav, Kharel. Namaste and welcome to Naked Mindfulness, where we have deep, honest conversation about life, spirituality. It is also a space where we not just talk about knowledge, but talk about the inner transformation. So we are very lucky and we feel very blessed to welcome Shyalpa Tenzin Rinpoche. He is a spiritual leader, spiritual teacher, and he is also a peace ambassador and the visionary behind the Mahasiddha Sanctuary being built in Lumbini. Namaste Rinpoche. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you, Rinpoche?
Well, life is good.
How have you been? How's your day going right now?
Well, I'm not so sure. This moment is going very well.
You believe in moment?
Well, what is there other than being in the moment? I cannot find anything else.
अनि अहिले हजुरको प्रोजेक्टहरू जे भइरहेछ
हजुर
केही त्यस्तो प्रोजेक्टहरू अहिले रनिङ प्रोजेक्टहरू जसमा हजुर एकदम बिजी हुनुहुन्छ अहिले त्यस्तोहरू केही छ अहिले?
Oh, right now, as you know, on Sansar Barima, Yuddha Dunda, अनि ले धेरै दुःख पाएको छ धेरै our brothers and sisters देशमा पनि आफ्नो मनमा पनि अनि विश्वभरिमा अनि यति stress, यति anxiety, यति fear. There's so much suffering out there. And so I feel it is very important for us to feel their pain and suffering. And towards that, we must try to, at least relate if we cannot do anything else. So in my own ways, I'm trying to see how we can promote world peace through inner peace. So if you really look at this carefully, from the beginning of civilization till now, there wasn't anyone who came on this earth who did create a peace destination solely for peace. Of course, there are some, in the name of peace, but related to their own dogma, their own philosophy, and their own religion. So this, not necessarily provided very much inclusive space. Rather, it created so much discomfort and, even wars. So I feel today that in 21st century, we have informations in our hand, which we can read and which we know, not like before. So in the modern days, we have now even blockchain and AI. We feel these things are going to be useful in many ways if we genuinely promote peace for humanity. So for that, for most inclusive space, I'm trying to create in Lumbini for last quite few years now. And just recently, a few weeks ago, we established Universal Peace Sanctuary Foundation in Geneva. So trying to communicate with everyone who really cares about other beings and try to see how we can make peace more fashionable than war. How we all can live in a meaningful way. So you can consider that as one of my projects today.
That's beautiful. Tara, you talking about peace. I want to go into a question. We have been, chasing peace from the life that has been recorded, the human life that has been recorded. But the individuals, the nations, everyone is finding peace. But I don't think we are getting it. We're still fighting for it. We are not getting. Sometimes it feels like it's just a beautiful idea that we have been creating. Is it that, or is it possible in 21st century to create peace in this world?
Well, as long as human beings are able to recognize how precious human life is, there's not only a possibility there, but there is real interest to live life meaningfully, which is only through finding peace, where you have freedom, where you are able to tap into the most profound resources that is available to us. That is innate intelligence. So every human being is bestowed and fortunate to have inherited that seed of goodness. So there's no caution whether this is possible or not. 100% possibility. But we have responsibility here to bring this to everybody's mind and to everybody's to have a knowledge. So we must deliver this with clarity. I think those of us who are more fortunate to have been blessed in this way since birth onwards, I think we have to take responsibility and understand there is need. So there's no questioning about whether this is possible or not. We must, with complete confidence, try to share whatever remaining time we have, whatever energy we have, whatever little wisdom that we have accumulated.
So you talked about the artificial intelligence just before. So nowadays, when you ask a spiritual question to AI, he's going to answer everything, every questions that you have. So is it sometimes AI useful or is it dangerous?
Now, AI is useful, and AI can never answer all the spiritual questions, ever. So whatever you are getting from AI is not necessarily spiritual answers. That is imitation. True spiritual answers can be only expressed by one who is experiencing it. So AI can never experience a spiritual realization. So AI itself is wrong. AI means artificial intelligence. Anything that is artificial is never intelligence. I can guarantee and sign this if you want me to. So anything that is intelligence is natural because it's unconditional. Artificial intelligence is wrong because it's conditional. So about a year or so ago, I gave a talk in Stanford University. And they're asking me to talk about AI. So I said, of course, happy to do. And all the scientists, all the AI developers, they came. And then I decided my topic will be AI and AI. So when I tried to share what is the first AI, they knew that is artificial intelligence. Or they did not know what is the second AI. And I defined second AI as absolute intelligence. So the absolute intelligence must combine with artificial intelligence to make it work. Then maybe we might be able to indicate something about its spiritual essence. Not necessarily entire spiritual essence by that means at all. Entire, so like a spiritual essence, if you want to receive a master who is able to experience it in moment-to-moment life, must be able to bless you with that empowerment. Otherwise, there's no way you can realize it.
That's a beautifully challenged answer. You just भर्खर सुरु हुनुभन्दा अगाडि हजुरले प्रेजेन्स र मोमेन्टमा बस्छु भनेर हजुरले भन्नुभएको छ हैन?
हजुर.
And you also promote that as well. So I want to ask you अहिले AI र टेक्नोलोजीको कुरा आएपछि यो मलाई जोड्न मन लाग्यो. The entire architecture and algorithm actually is built like TikTok, Instagram. They are all built to keep your mind moving, to reacting, to scrolling, never arriving. And how do you even begin to teach presence in the world that is specially designed against it?
I feel that nothing in this world that is available to us is built against us. I think as long as we are capable of handling it, and everything that is there in our disposal is an opportunity for our exercise. More opportunity there is to exercise, more we will be able to have strength. Like if you go to gym, as many equipments is available there, that much better it is if you know how to make use of each and every equipment, right? So if you don't, you will strain yourself and maybe from next day, you might not be able to exercise again for months and years. So then that ruins your opportunity. But if you have a good instructor and if you are able to learn the skill, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that is problem for us. Everything is an opportunity for us.
So मैले खास गरी स्टार्ट गर्न खोजे चाहिँ हजुरको लाइफबाट थियो तर क्वेसन यता यता गएर हामी यो सोशल मिडियामै एकैचोटि गयौँ हैन?
No problem.
ठिकै छ. तर मलाई चाहिँ आई वाज भेरी क्युरियस टु नो यु वेयर recognized as we'll come back to that again. You were recognized as Rinpoche at the age of 4. Age of 4 is that it was very small age to understand world. So I just want to know, who were you as a child, not as a Rinpoche, not as a recognition. Who were you as a child? What did you like to do? What were you afraid of? Who were you as a boy, Shyalpa Tenzin?
Well, it's a very good question. As a boy, I was very curious. That I can remember. And as a boy, with all other boys and girls, I was sort of like a grandfatherly with all the same age boys and girls that I used to hang out with. So I don't know why, There was that role somehow bestowed upon me. Even if they have to write a letter or something to send to somebody who is close to them, they will come to me and ask me to write. I'm not so sure I was a very good writer or not, but that's how I was treated. And so I could say that I was sort of like a grandfatherly even at that age.
Were you afraid of anything at that time as a boy?
I'm not so sure I was afraid as much. Reason why I said that is even in the chanting in the class, the teacher used to make me the chant leader.
Oh.
So maybe I was a little bit
Leader quality.
so not afraid.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about leader quality, but maybe not so afraid. And so they appoint me to be the chant leader. So I wonder those are the.
Did you? Did he? The boy knew about the responsibility that was placed on his shoulder?
Yes, there was little of that because my friends, they used to get to play outside. And I will see them playing outside from my windows. And of course, when I see them playing, and I have to go out to urinate quite often. And that's the excuse. So I used to go out and ask my grandfather and grandmother to say, okay, I have to go out to urinate. But then they are playing there. So I want to play with them. Man, I don't have so much opportunity to play with them. And they will call me back and you better read and carry on your study.
So that makes me, more even curious about something ordinary. Like, what does your regular day looks like? Not as a teacher, just waking up in the morning.
Like yourself. I mean, I'm a very free person. I will do whatever I feel like doing at that moment. I don't have necessarily very much routine per se. So I'm much more into a spontaneous way of being. So I get up and do prayers and meditations and things like that. And then, go to use, toilet. And sometimes I might carry my iPhone with me in the toilet. Things like regular thing we do. So
You yourself, you scroll like
yes, let's see what's happening in the world.
So, did you had any kind of hobby or something that you wanted to do, or you still do?
My hobby is I want to be really free. In whatever situation, whoever I am with, and whatever I'm doing, making sure that I'm not entangled or enslaved by whatever is happening. Whether you consider something very big or something you consider very small. My hobby is always, I try to find ways to be free any given moment. So that seems to be my biggest hobby.
हजुर त्यो जस्तै बच्चैदेखि एउटा रिम्पोचे भनेर राख्या हुन्छ नि त बच्चैदेखि एउटा इन रेस्पेक्ट होइन तर के अरे वाट इज वान थिङ द्याट पिपल लाइक कन्स्ट्यान्टली गेट कम्प्लिटली रङ अबाउट वाट Rinpoche is? I mean, what it means to be a Rinpoche.
Rinpoche literally means precious one, right? You have to question yourself, quite often, as frequently as possible, whether you are precious or not. And it's not about who says you are precious or not. That is not so important, actually. And your student says to you, you are precious one, you are Rinpoche or not. That's not so important as far as I'm concerned. Whether you feel yourself is precious or not. In one way, you can feel yourself precious or not by seeing how much you are being helpful to people, how much your time is being spent in serving humanity or leading humanity or inspiring humanity. By doing so, how you feel your life is worthy or not, whether you are spending life meaningfully or not. So if you are not regretting the way you are spending your time, I think you can feel yourself a real Rinpoche. And then I think if you feel the Rinpoche in that way, I think you will have power in a way because you are not driven by habits or agendas. You're not working with projections. Rather, you have sincerity in your way, and as you experience your life, and you want to see that preciousness in everyone. You want to see everyone is treating their life in that precious way. So given any chance there is for you, you will be able to interact in a sublime way and profound way. And in that way, then, probably, you can say to yourself, not necessarily a great Rinpoches will say to yourself, you are great or anything like that. But at the same time, some Rinpoches, like great Longchenpa and, this kind of wonderful masters, they seem to say, well, who is better than you? You are great. You have done something. You have realized something. Mm-hmm. And they express in their life stories like that. So why they're not saying this out of their ego or pride or anything like that, where I think there is a sense of real celebration and a real understanding where you feel no regret for being the way you are. So I think that is very important today and forever.
Mm-hmm. So that should be that should be reminded every time.
Every time, and then also whether you are called Rinpoche or not, it doesn't matter. In our language, gold is also known as Rinpoche. Silver is also known as Rinpoche. So if you're like a silver and gold, maybe it's Rinpoche, but not real Rinpoche. Silver and gold can provide so much, not really necessarily a real understanding and realization. You cannot derive from silver and gold. So even if you are called Rinpoche, I'm not so sure it really matters that much unless you embody the quality in a sense that you are free and you are living.
So just you said about the great masters. We want to know more about your root guru, Chatral, the great Chatral Rinpoche. उहाँको बारे भन्दाखेरि हामीलाई अझै केही नयाँ कुरा जान्न मन लाग्छ. को हुनुहुन्थ्यो, कस्तो हुनुहुन्थ्यो, हाउ वाज ही एज अ टिचर, अनि सो अब हजुर एज अ बिङ हजुरको रुट गुरु भएको हुनाले आई वान्ट टु आस्क यु दिस क्वेसन, वाट वाज ही लाइक? आई मिन वान्ट टु नो मोर अबाउट Chatral Rinpoche. हजुरले किताब पनि लेख्या भने मैले सुनेको छु.
For me, my teacher, His Holiness, is like a wish-fulfilling Jew. A Rinpoche that fulfills your wishes. So, in terms of ordinary language, it's very difficult to measure. उहाँको मूल्याङ्कन बुझ्न धेरै गाह्रो. I think to understand his standard and his quality, you have to reach to that level and to really able to make sense. So I am very, very ordinary. So my wisdom and my knowledge cannot reach to that level. To me, His Holiness is Buddha in person. And to me, Buddha in person doesn't mean it should be like Manjushri in this statue type like this. Rather, that person is truly real, person who is truly being, So I'm sure you all know, when you are able to be in the moment, how you feel yourself, right? So my guru was someone who is being all the time, 24/7. So therefore, only what I can say is I feel so fortunate to be able to touch his feet for whatever time I had. Every time I was near him, I dared to see him as ordinary man. I'm there always to receive a little bit teachings or a little bit clarity, a little nectar from him. I'm always waiting how I will be able to retrieve that. So this is how I was fortunate.
So at what age did you find Chatral Rinpoche, and how did you knew that he is the root guru of yours?
I was studying in Banaras, Sarnath Buddhist University.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I was a leader in Nyingma and community.
Mm.
So one time, His Holiness visited a river Ganges in Varanasi to liberate thousands of fishes there. Mm. So I was asked to go and assist him. So I went there, and he came in a jeep, this kind of Indian police, jeep, that kind of very popular Wrangler type.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with one or two assistants, and they came there, and I went to help him. So then I found where he is. From the moment I saw him, there was this deep sense of, connection in my own way.
Mm.
So this is the first time I recall meeting him.
So is there anything that you will this all of course the धेरै कुरा छ गुरुले हजुरले सिकाउनु भएको, तर त्यो एउटा thing that you will never forget, or like you will even pass down to the coming generation in this 21st century, that what this should be like? त्यस्तो केही छ हजुरसँग?
No, my guru was never compromising.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider that quality is like a most meaningful.
Never compromising.
Never compromising. Mm. And nothing matters that become precedent. Mm. So always anything there, whatever is happening, I suppose. Mm. But nothing that sort of like is able to seduce him. Mm. So this is, I find, very, very, beautiful,
That means he was straight to what he need or what he wants.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, and later I asked him, I want to become your student, and may I receive Dzogchen teaching from you? He said, I know such thing as Dzogchen. I don't know anything as Dzogchen.
Mm. What did you taught at that time?
What can I say? Speechless.
Okay.
Not like, ready to give you everything. It's like...
Mm-hmm. That means he was was a person who can't never be predicted, something like that.
I mean, try to predict anything is mistake in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So a person who never gives you a chance to predict is always helping us not to create any bad karma associating with him. So that much compassion there. Real compassion.
Yeah. So you talked about Dzogchen. You come from a Dzogchen lineage. So I want to know about Dzogchen practice. What exactly is Dzogchen? And there are lots of practitioners and even lay practitioners who are trying to practice or want to know about Dzogchen. So how can we understand Dzogchen as?
Dzogchen, I don't know how to, understand Dzogchen. Understanding Dzogchen might be conceptualized. Dzogchen, right? So how could that be real Dzogchen? So it's very hard to say, you have lots of audience watching this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I better not pretend that I know so much about Dzogchen.
That might make other sense to others.
No, I mean, they might misunderstand me and think, wow, he knows so much Dzogchen, which then I'm so like fooling them.
Yeah.
So better be humble and
Like your, like Chatral Rinpoche. I don't know Dzogchen. So one interesting thing about Chatral Rinpoche was म एकचोटि उहाँको गुम्बा गएको थिएँ फार्पिङमा अनि त्यो बाहिरदेखि नै आई हेभ सिन लट अफ सनातन डिएटिज देयर स्पेसली वेन वी इन्टर द गेट देयर इज अ बिग शिवलिङ देयर अनि द्याट इज यु नो डिफ्रेन्ट फ्रम अदर गुम्बाज सो why is that so different and what is it trying to say or what is it trying to symbolize there? It's so unique, you know, when we go to the farping.
I think, beautiful flowers attracts lots of bees because there's nectar to suck, right? So maybe those bees realizes that this flower is really full of nectar. So wants to be, flying around and, singing in that area and maybe try to have a little bit nectar from that beautiful flower. And also another example is all the swans comes to lake because this lake is so beautiful. All the swans automatically flock there and they stay near the lake and in the lake, right? So great masters, I feel, are like that. Even Patu Rinpoche, when he was in his hermitage, I was told that hundreds of disciples comes from all over Tibet. And all these are all very learned scholars, and who are sincere practitioners. They come to him. And then he is in this forest hermit area. And anybody who comes near there, he throws slingshots. So they cannot come near him, and there's no possibility to come near him. So he will throw slingshots for days. Some people almost get hurt because throwing stone, that's not a small thing, right? Yeah. This is kind of big thing, throwing. So he will throw many days, and most of them discouraged, and they leave. So there's no chance to be near. Then some stubborn and followers, and they still hang around for days and weeks, even though they cannot come close to him. Then he says, okay, now you come. And then he treats them beautifully and probably giving them some teachings. And so I think that kind of teacher are authentic teacher because they're not for transactional purpose. And gurus become business. It's transactional. Probably there's less people who will be flocking and being around the teacher. So Chatral Rinpoche, probably you are fortunate so in that way.
That was amazing. I never thought from that perspective. I was just amazed by seeing the Gumba. Now we, after Dzogchen, I want to come to the mindfulness. हामी आजकल यो बिजी वर्ल्डमा चाहिँ माइन्डफुलनेस मेडिटेसन भनेर आजकल एकदमै पपुलर पनि छ. इट हेज बिन अ $1 billion इन्डस्ट्री, लग्जरी रिट्रिट्स, सेलिब्रिटी टिचर्स and I would say branded spirituality. So from where you stand, is that mindfulness? Everyone calling mindfulness is it true, or we are getting or missing some points there?
Definitely getting mindful. I'm not so sure about mindfulness. When it is mindfulness, you're talking about the state of your mind. So being able to reach the state of your mind or not is questionable. Because you really need a great deal of wisdom. And you have to feel a profound compassion from your heart. And on top of that, you really need the blessing of a spiritual friend who is qualified and who experienced a real state of his mind. So that is not possible these days, very rare. I mean, it's like stars in the daylight. So mindful is easy. There are lots of mindful. So that's why it's $1 billion market. So you pointed out very nicely. You wait with the dollar and money. So if you can sell, then I'm sure there are lots of buyers. But if you have something that you cannot afford to sell, meaning you're not willing to compromise, then I'm not so sure, there is so much mindful practice. Rather, they're in the state of mindfulness. So I think this differentiation is very, very important. I know what you're trying to say. Whatever there is, I think, is better than nothing. Even many people today, in the West particularly, using ayahuasca and all these drugs. And they say that they are able to experience something very deep. They go beyond this world and they're able to go somewhere and they're able to discover something and they really get excited about it. So that's also fine. I mean,
Psychedelic drugs.
Whatever, I mean, that's not the answer. What else they have? They don't have resources that we were able to tap into since childhood onwards. So therefore, I feel a great deal of compassion and I understand. At least they're trying. So if we are able to provide the real in-depth understanding and the teaching, can you imagine how wonderful this would be? So maybe this is one of the ways, with podcasts and things like that. So if we can have a little bit more of a really in-depth dialogue and sincerely try to share some feelings towards our brothers and sisters who are confused, who are ignorant, who are going through so much suffering, stress, and fear, maybe it is worthwhile. But I always feel that whatever there is, still is good enough. But if we can make it better, I think we should try.
You talked about wisdom, and I can't stop myself asking this question. Nowadays, lots of practitioners and beginners, and even I have noticed that the Dharma centers nowadays has been like an elite show, I would say like a VIP culture, a VIP, they get very easy access to the teachers, and a person who don't have anything to give, they are like, there's no easy access for them. So I was always wondering, what if Buddha had by chance went to one of that Dharma center today? What would you say in this thing?
Buddha Shakyamuni, you mean? And Buddha Shakyamuni, before he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, I'm sure he went to many Dharma centers. Like yourself, he was also fed up with all this, what you call, VIP culture and so on and so forth. Otherwise, I don't see there is a possibility to expound and deliver the message and teaching on emptiness as such. So I think Buddha did go through that, and he was able to see it at that time. And today you're right. There is this big, uncomfortable situation, to say the least. And there's a big monopoly, and there's big transactional, and which is unfortunate, because that doesn't help protect Dharma, that doesn't help preserve pure Dharma. When we are not able to preserve the pure Dharma, and all sentient beings are the victims, and they do not have real teachings and a clarity they can rely on to free themselves from suffering and reach themselves on a spiritual and understanding level, right? So it's very, very unfortunate, but I think there is still opportunity for us to correct it. I think we should try to correct these mistakes that we are making. And as Buddha himself was able to see these things, and many great scholars also have mentioned, they said the person who is with defilements is not an issue. Defilements itself is the issue. So if we can all try to come together on this journey to purify our defilements and transform our obscurations and liberate our misunderstandings, I think there's still a great possibility for us to refine our a way of providing teaching, right? So that means that you have to reform yourself. Without reforming yourself, each individual, it is very difficult, right? So, and whoever is doing this in a VIP culture, as you said, maybe there is a way for us to explain, so this is going on. Could you please look into this? Maybe you're not intentionally doing it. Maybe you yourself is trapped in this. Maybe is there a way to get out of this? I think maybe there has to be a sincere dialogue, I feel now today. And hopefully that will happen.
There should be some solutions to it.
Yes.
So, as you said about suffering, in every religion and every philosophy, everywhere we learn about suffering, and we try to reduce it. But human beings are still struggling with suffering. So, is suffering bad, or is suffering is something that is trying to tell you something?
Suffering is bad if you do not recognize the cause of suffering. Suffering is okay if you understand suffering is trying to tell you something. Suffering is good if you enjoy suffering. So I think it depends upon what level
of understanding.
Yes.
So what is actually suffering, from the Buddhist perspective, from the Four Noble Truths?
No, I think when you truly don't understand how all these 5 elements, and which is very sacred, and through this, the energies that we have been able to condensed together.
Mm-hmm.
And from this energy, as unobstructed flow is arising,
Mm-hmm.
when that flow of energy is originated from this space, unconditional space, is not recognized, then you tend to become not free to integrate in each and every moment in the energy. So when you are not able to integrate each and every moment in this flow of energy, what seems to happen is we condition the energy. When we condition the energy, then we tend to again create dualistic conceptions like subject and object. Then when there is subject and object, and there is you, and there is a suffering, so you who is suffering is so like a confusion.
Mm-hmm.
So in that confusion, you are not able to tap into the clarity of awareness. So when there is no awareness and there is constant suffering or cyclic existence, you are in that flow of cyclic existence, right? So this is the way of samsara.
Mm.
So, but now it's not so difficult to, free yourself from this entanglement. Like snakes can untie itself, you can also find freedom in the moment as you find the clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where, if we are able to focus more, if we are directed in that way, there is all possibilities.
Yeah, that's good. I want to connect this with, I have spoken to many long-term practitioners who say that, years of meditation did not make them calmer. It made them more sensitive and receptive. Whenever they go outside, they feel that उहाँहरूले चाहिँ त्यो नेगेटिभ एनर्जी चाँडै फिल गर्ने होइन, अनि त्यसपछि दुःखमा अझ बेसी सेन्सिटिभ हुने, अनि द्याट हेज डिस्टर्ब देम, दे से इन द्याट वे, एन्ड सम अफ देम आर डिमोटिभेट बिकज अफ दिस इन्टु स्पिरिचुअलिटी. So why is this happening? Is this what spirituality actually means? Why is this happening?
No, I think you are not able to have a real compassion in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are not able to have true compassion, and there is this kind of obstacle could arise, which is because you are trying to seek some kind of validation outside for yourself, which means you are not able to find a true validity in your being. So therefore, you have this poverty mentality, which you project to others as well. Oh, someone is suffering, terrible, this is happening. So you become very sensitive. But that doesn't mean that you are separating yourself from other. You are not able to free yourself from this sense of conditioning. When you are not able to free yourself from conditioning, you cannot expect any unconditional result.
Mm-hmm.
So real compassion is imbued with unconditional love. Mm-hmm. So there is no compassion that has any limitations in being able to penetrate in anything. So it's like a sun shining. When sun is shining, there is no place sun cannot penetrate its light and bring clarity. So one must first able to understand the real meaning of compassion. What is the true compassion? I think true compassion, when you have, there is no conditioning self have any place to exist. Completely you are free from that conditional ground. in that condition of ground, then you don't have to become more sensitive of any kind. Just becoming more sensitive doesn't mean you're able to liberate from that sensitivity. So I think lack of compassion is cause of that kind of.
So how can we understand compassion? What is compassion, and how can they understand that properly?
Look, ultimate meaning of compassion is true intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
When there is true intelligence, there's no ignorance whatsoever. Therefore, you are able to see everything clearly. In that clarity, you do not have anything to be controlled by. There's nothing that can habituate. There's no someone who can be habituated. So in that sense, being able to activate natural intelligence in every moment in your practice, every moment in your life, is way for you to understand compassion. So my guru, as I mentioned earlier, His Holiness Chatral Rinpoche was not compromising for a moment. This is what I mean. There's not a moment where he is ignorant of anything. There's not a moment where he is not being able to activate his intelligence to relate to whatever is happening or nothing is happening. So that is sort of like a quintessence of being a genuine practitioner on this path.
Talking about the spiritual path and genuine practitioner, it makes me go to a question about transformation. Many people come to the spirituality for transformation. But are they really transforming? How can they know they are really into the right path of transformation, in the right journey? And some person also takes spirituality as escape. They think they are doing spiritual, but they actually skipping their career, their usual work. So, first question is, how can we know that we are truly in a right path of transformation? And about is someone who is taking spiritual as escape? So I just want to ask this question.
Well, I think ultimately it is very important to examine whether you are self-deceiving or not. So self-deception is the biggest enemy there is, not any other enemy outside there. So whether you are on a spiritual journey and you are on meaningful spiritual journey, you are embarking on a path that will lead you to a real freedom, must be measured by how free you are from self-deception. In our tradition, there is 3 ways that we can condense it. One is called purification, which is sort of like a renunciation, combined. One is called transformation. One is called liberation. So renunciation, purifications, and transformations are methods or tools that you can apply, or techniques. There are some points in this which make sense. However, ultimately, whether it is renunciation, purification, or transformation, these all are escaping in one way or other from this very moment, unless you are liberated. So liberation is the key. So as a practitioner, again, come back to my guru's qualities. If you are taking for granted this moment, you are compromising. you are adding water in a milk. So you are diluting the real essence of the milk, because you are escaping from being able to take the real milk, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So we have responsibility as a practitioner, if we are really practitioner, to never take anything for granted. So that means we cannot find anywhere to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So moment we are escaping, we are taking life for granted. We are not able to find true value in our being. Yes, physically we are like a human being, but maybe is a dead corpse walking. But you're not being. If you're not being, then what is the essence? There's no essence left. Like a dead body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think most important is to be able to truly realize how precious it is to be able to truly enjoy each and every moment and celebrate and relate to everything as your partner to dance with on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very important, I feel.
Mm. So main thing is to enjoy the moment and know the value of how precious the human life is.
I think that's the biggest teaching of Buddha, and as far as I'm concerned. And Buddha is the one who was able to truly expound and discuss and distill the meaning of human life. How precious human life is. So in that sense, and later, recently, like Dr. Ambedkar was able to bring that power in human society and to write a constitution where he was able to declare all human beings are equal. So these things are a very powerful message.
Today my questions are it's going according to the practitioner's view, and there's one question as well that a lot of practitioners ask. Lust among all the emotions like anger, greed, attachment, ego is the strongest energy they feel. They can't, control, and that's been disturbing the practitioners. So how can we transform that sexual energy to the deepened meditation?
By recognizing that you are the most powerful person on this earth. There's nothing that is more powerful than you. You meaning this moment where you're able to integrate in being. So that energy is in a red color. It's very passionate. So being able to utilize that in such a way that there is no compromising whatsoever. That indestructible quality can be the most, meaningful service to humanity. So, whether it is a, desire or whether it is anger or whether it's whatever it is, these are, if you are able to relate in a meaningful way, these are the 5 wisdoms, and not moving away from wisdoms, no matter what it is, right? And look at it in a scientific way. No matter whether you are having anger, whether you are having a desire, whatever, in that very moment, the energy that you are experiencing is your life or not. It is your life. You cannot discredit any moment because 24/7 is your life. There's not a one moment, whatever energy is, blossoming at that very moment, that should not denigrate you as being who embodies the essence of clarity, essence of wisdom. So the desire that you have should be transformed into desiring to be in the moment for not even 99.9%, for 100%, you are desiring to be able to integrate and experience the true validity of your being, where then you become the Buddha.
Beautifully explained. So before this, we have come to the last of this podcast. So I have asked this question to many guests who comes here. So I want to ask you the same question, and this is also a common question people ask nowadays. It's about death. Is it something that we should fear of, or is it something that we should celebrate it? And what is death actually?
I don't think we need to fear death. And I don't think we need to celebrate death either. You have to be realistic. You have to be honest.
Yeah.
So those who are fearing death, they're not living. Those who are celebrating death, they're faking. Right?
Yeah.
So you just don't have to project to anybody else. Look into yourself. If I say, I'm going to celebrate death, I'm lying. You don't have to celebrate death. Change is taking place every moment. So death is not such things when your body disintegrates. Every moment there is birth and death taking place when we are not mindful. When we are able to truly integrate into our being, you're able to remain in the state of deathlessness. And that is deathlessness. That's a state that cannot be conceptualized, that cannot be verbalized, right? That cannot be just telling somebody this is how it is. It is something you will be able to experience it. So here, as a spiritual being, we must live fully. We must live in this moment as if there is no next moment.
So we can understand it in that way. That was very beautifully explained, by the way. That was a unique answer. I was not expecting that. So before going, anything you want to say to our listeners, just one truth of life that they should know?
Well, one truth in life is time to remain at ease. Time to relax. Time to be natural. And no need to fabricate, even though we fabricate most of the time. Even though we try to change everything. Most important thing is to be in the natural state of your mind, where you find real comfort, real relaxation, where you're able to totally remain in ease. So try that all the time. No matter what is happening, in the middle of chaos, try to find how a second or two you are able to be natural. You are able to be in the state of natural ease. Try to find how this frees you from stain. Just even for a moment. So always, be kind to yourself.
Thank you, Rinpoche, once again for coming, and we have learned a lot of things in a new perspective. So this is Naked Mindfulness. Thank you for being with us, and do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you.